St. Matthews, you may remain seated in this place. Ushers, you may take your seats on today. Let me take my time and minister this particular message on today. From the very first chapter, let me read it to you since it's a long exegesis of what I want to read on today. Starting with the first chapter, the Gospel according to St. Matthew. In the 18th verse, now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together. And she was found with a child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. For he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, behold, a virgin shall be with a child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which has been interpreted as God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from his sleep, and did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife, and knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus. I want to talk about for a very few moments this morning, I'd like to use this particular subject, the epiphany of a virgin birth. The epiphany of a virgin birth. The epiphany of a virgin birth. Anytime you define the word epiphany, epiphany is defined not only by Webster, but the online dictionary says that it's usually a sudden manifestation or perception of essential nature or the meaning of something. It also says it is an intuitive grasp of reality through something. The third meaning says it is illuminating discovery. The fourth meaning says that it is a revealing scene or a moment. And then the fifth meaning gives us that the appearance, a manifestation, especially of a divine being. In other words, when it shows up when you least expect it. And let me just drop it in your lap. How many times we have waited on? Let me find some mathematicians and let me do research. And dealing with statistics and dealing with trigonometry and dealing with algebra, dealing with any kind of mathematical equation, there comes a day that you cannot always do the equation and get the answer when you want to. And all of a sudden it may be 3 o'clock in the morning where you just remembered where you went wrong, and that's called an epiphany. And sometimes God does not give you the answer that he wants you to have just when you ask him for it. And sometimes your epiphany may come when you're driving down the street. You ever just had an opportunity where he just spoke to you and you said, I got it? Oh, wrong side. You just had a day that where you was just going through something and seemed like you was wondering when God was going to talk to you about the situation. And all of a sudden you said, I see now. And And guess what? I got a couple of you in here that don't know your name, but guess what? You've been waiting on God to do something specifically for you. And guess what? Guess what you are waiting on, and you never knew what it was called. It is you're waiting on your epiphany. In other words, you waiting on that moment where you know that it couldn't have been nobody else speak but God. And you say, I got it now. Yes. And guess what? One thing about when God speaks, God never goes back on his word. Matter of fact, if he told you once, and guess what? It'll show up. It may not show up when you want it to show up. Big Mama said, if you don't get it in the wash, you'll get it in the rinse.
Yes, you will. Yes,
I'm going to get you after a while. And then sometime, guess what? When the epiphany comes, you got to wait on God. Anybody here waited on God this year? And guess what? It seemed like he never was going to come, but all of a sudden that epiphany of your life where you had to make a decision that you didn't think that you was going to have to make, but and you were struggling, you was wrestling, you were fighting with that decision, and all of a sudden here comes that epiphany where God says, yes, that's it. And guess what? You make the decision and God gives you a sense of comfort. So epiphany is commonly used to describe a major idea, but I want to deal with this part real. It's a major revelation. And can I teach for a moment? Y'all already shouting all moments. So it's a major revelation. And sometimes I don't understand, and I'm a preacher, let me talk to you. Sometimes, even as a preacher, I don't understand what God is saying. Most of y'all a little bit better than I am, so kiss me. There's sometimes I want God to, I wish God would show up in the kitchen. At least ride with me in the car. I mean, drop by the job, it's okay, they'll let you in the garden gate. There comes a point sometimes I need to see God physically. Because I know we teach this thing called God is a spirit, and we worship him in spirit and in truth, but there comes a day that I need to physically have a conversation with him. And how many times in your life, just this year, you talk to God, but you're still waiting on him to talk to you? Lord have mercy. So Matthew comes and on, he deals with early on, and let me take you there because there's too many words for you to deal with. Between verse 1 and verse 17 of chapter 1 of Matthew, he deals with the genealogy. He deals with the genealogy, the generations of Jesus Christ. And Matthew's gospel opened with a genealogy which traces Jesus' legal and ancestral lineage through his maternal line, which was Joseph. Now, I need to help you with something. This is just an introduction. I'll pick you up later in the body of text. Guess what? One of the things that I love about Jesus is that Jesus had some rascals in his family. Wrong side. Go ahead. I mean, Jesus had some messed up folk in his family. Come on, help me here. Ain't no sense y'all looking at me strange. You got some messed up folk in your family. Come on, you've been to the family room and said they still in my family. I mean, Jesus had some everything in his family. You know, he had Rahab, he had Tamar. Man, I mean, he had some folk that David. But nobody no bigger rascal than David. And see, if you sitting here to I'm trying to diss all the folk that don't act like me, guess what? You're going to be dissing everybody. So when you look at this genealogy, and that's why I don't want to go through all these names, because, man, by the time I got to explaining all the names, man, and guess what? I would pick you off one by one. Everybody would be leaving here. Man, he deals with all these names, and guess what? Then he comes to this verse number 18. He says, now the birth of Jesus was on this wise, and as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child. Now they ain't never she was pregnant. The men ain't talking. That means this young people, I'm almost through. I mean, look, first of all, I want to deal with the unexpected. And let me tell you something, that had to be, Dorothy, that had to be an unexpected situation. I don't know no man is sitting in this building this morning that your old lady comes home and says, guess what, baby, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. Matter of fact, I don't know how to tell you. And y'all talking about y'all engaged, but she come home. Well, she don't come home. She call you on the phone. Said, we got something to talk about. You know, when anybody say we got something to talk about, usually it ain't that good. Come on. Ain't nobody calling you saying we got something to talk about and they going off you $1 million. That ain't gonna happen. When somebody calls you and says, guess what, we need to talk, there's usually a negative connotation that goes with we gotta talk. Y'all ain't talking. And the Bible says that birth of Jesus, Mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, but before they came together and she was found with a child of Holy Ghost. Now let me talk to the men since y'all right. Can you see your old lady? Can you see your old lady saying, well, you know, it ain't you, baby. Wrong side there. It ain't you, baby, it's the Holy Ghost. Now come on with your cussing and clowning and cutting up stuff. Every man in here would have an attitude. I mean, come on, let me get some of my senior men here. I mean, come on, Stuart. I mean, come on, Fisher. I mean, if your old lady talking about she don't can't talk about man can't talk about she pregnant. And it was the Holy Ghost. Stuart said, better be the Holy Ghost. Sure can't be nothing else. Oh, yeah. Come on, John. Dealing with something unexpected. And one of the hardest things in the world to do is be able to handle something when it unexpectedly happens. Very few folk can handle when something unexpectedly happens. It's difficult for you to deal with when you get laid off because that's unexpected. Somebody walked out of your life, that's unexpected. Y'all ain't saying that. You had a flat tire on the way to church, that's unexpected. Let me talk to some of these men. Your button break, your zipper break, y'all ain't saying that. That's unexpected. And let me get some of these professional women in here. You got a run in your stocking that look like a runway. Y'all sure ain't saying that. Mother, I gotta get out of here. I got 2 minutes visit, I ain't gonna talk to you. Man, that's an unexpected situation. You call your bank account and somebody stole all your money. I thought I could register with you now. Look, that's unexpected. And many folk, even though you claim that you know God, it's still a difficult situation to deal with when something unexpected shows up in your life. Go to the doctor tomorrow morning and they tell you you got cancer, but you've been feeling good all year long. That's unexpected. I feel like preaching. Oh Lord. So he showed up. This old girl. mama? Can I brother-rise it? Shows up with the mama, and the mama said, look, baby. Can you see the mama laughing at you? Can you see the mama got a glee on her face? Tell me, I don't know how to. But I'm getting ready to have a baby. And I know you ain't touched me. And I ain't had nothing to do with no other man. And the man might could deal with it if at least if she had said it was another man. That's a legal reason to get mad. I mean, but now all of a sudden you can't get mad because she says it's the Holy Ghost. So who you gonna call? You can't call Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? Come on, me and help me here. You say, what's his name? That's the first time you tell your lady you not. Ain't no Holy Ghost did nothing like that. Joseph. Let me deal with Joseph for a minute. Joseph, her husband. Bible said, being a just man. Man, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Wouldn't it be a blessing? Let me pull these ladies in here once again. And wouldn't it be a blessing if you just had a just man? One that wanted to be righteous. Oh, I felt something in here. One that wanted to love God, one that wanted to take care of you, one that wanted to go to church. You didn't have to beg. You didn't have to take him to court to make a white judge take care of a black baby. Wouldn't it be good if you just had a just man? Ain't no sense in you women sitting quiet. Because one thing is hard. It's hard out here when you're by yourself. Y'all ain't gonna say that. You know if it's hard with somebody, it's hard up by yourself. You at least need somebody to put the light up here. I got a couple babies in here talking about, I don't need nobody. Yes, you do. That's your problem. You need somebody to hug you every now and then. You need somebody to pat you every now and then. Tell you your hair look good, them some pretty feet or something.
What you say?
Bible says Joseph. Joseph has been a just man, not willing to make her a public example. Was minded to put her way privately. Bible says, but while he fought on these things, I don't want to deal with that fourth thing. Guess what? It's a terrible thing when you lose your mind. I got some of you in here this morning. Satan has rented space and in your mind too long. I got somebody in here this morning. Guess what? And this year, Satan borrowed too much time from you. But you can't keep letting Satan steal your joy. Have I told you to get somebody to high five yet? Well, hold on then. I'll be there in a minute. And you come on. You need to tell Satan you ain't renting space. Not in my mind this year. Matter of fact, you got me last month. You got me this summer, but guess what? I'm gonna fix it so that you don't keep getting space in my mind. And sometimes it ain't your health that's bad, it's your mind bad. Can I get a witness? And you got to learn how to think yourself happy. You got to learn how to thank yourself. If you sitting here telling I'm waiting on somebody to make me happy, baby, you're going to be waiting. You got to learn how to start thinking of the goodness of Jesus and all that he done for you. And guess what? Your soul still will cry. You got to learn how to think a miracle into existence. You got to learn how to think healing into existence. I wish I had it. Anybody in here that know how to just thank God for what he's already had done for you. Let me just get a couple babies in here that can look back and where God brought you from. This year you can give God a Holy Ghost praise in this place. Somebody go and shout thank you. Oh shucks. Y'all working me too hard. I got to get out of here. You ought to just thank you, ushers. I'll be there in a minute. I'm on the way. I know you want me to get there, but I'm busy. Good God from Zion. You got to start thinking yourself out of some stuff. And see, guess what? You can't keep losing your mind. Guess what? You got to think your way into a new job. You got to think your way into a relationship. You speak death or life through your words. Let me go there again. You speak death or life through your words. As long as you crying the pity pot, ain't nobody never cared about me. All men are dogs, all women are cats, all whatever you want to say. But good God, sometimes am I in the right place? Y'all come on here. I got to get out of here. You need to understand. You got to speak some stuff into existence. If you want 100